Start. Bop. Okay, we're live now.
We on the internet.
Yeah. Feel free to speak freely and all that jazz.
Happy 420.
Yeah.
That's really
I don't know
good.
what I don't know what 420 really entails for
I don't really know either, to be 100% honest. I'm pretty sure if you Googled it, you could probably find some like obscure history reference
Oh,
in
well
the
I
why.
heard like it actually stands for like the police code or something for
That'd
like
be funny if
possession
that
of
was true.
marijuana.
That,
That's what I heard at one point.
that's pretty funny if that's true.
Yeah.
Um, Need to
I think
check that out
I
later.
think my mom told me that though, and my mom has been known to tell me some bullshit. So
I'll need to check it out one of these days, but to me, I don't really know the origin either, but it's just a little fun day where stoners can like go socialize with other stoners and stuff like that. They go to parks and have big festivals and smoke a bunch of marijuana.
yeah, isn't it
I
also
don't.
supposed to be like Hitler's birthday or something?
Yeah, we don't. That's why we got to smoke the pain away, bro.
Uh,
That's what you got to do. But me, I don't really go out to any of the festivals or anything like that. So yeah, just just an outcast. It's that one song,
um,
"I Walk a Lonely Road" by Coldplay or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
you mean by Green Day?
Yeah, sure, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, uh,
Um,
it's just to say though, real quick, you know, I did a report in college on the origins of marijuana law in this country that's on the books right now, and almost all of it is grounded in the 1930s, and like 100% of the stuff grounded in the 1930s is just horrendously, horribly racist against people
yeah.
from south of the border.
Well,
Uh, you
people
know,
from everywhere.
people from everywhere, but primarily, there's to let people in on the get go. The reason marijuana became such a big deal because we do have tobacco in this country, which instead of the the THC content, you get just straight nicotine. It's the drug that's contained within tobacco. The reason marijuana became a thing was one because William Randolph Hearst he owned a lot of newspapers and he owned a lot of paper companies, and he really didn't like hemp being an alternative to paper. So when the prohibition flopped right on his face, because it turns out you can't tell a bunch of people not to in a country. It's all about personal freedom not to do something. They're going to just do it in droves and make a whole underground market that evolves into this like horrendously violent thing that we still have with us in modern society.
No, I mean,
uh
yeah, that's partially true, but as we've seen over the past couple years, you can tell a lot of people they have to do something, and the vast majority will actually do it.
yeah, well,
And
I,
and then when it's almost over, doctors will come out and say there's no medical reason for you to have done any of that.
well, when we're talking about alcohol, though, we're talking about the withholding of consuming something that you've consumed for generations for absolutely no reason. There
Yeah.
have been generations of ours that have grown up under situations when there have been horrendous, like, just health conditions. Like, there are children that were still born during the Black Death of England. I think, it's just sometimes you got to make a little bit of sacrifice. But
Yeah.
for COVID, I don't know. Maybe things are a little overblown. I'm not sure. We could talk about it forever, but at the end of
Um.
the day, move
Yeah.
past it.
There's no reason to
Back,
talk about it
yeah, back
because
onto the point at hand, though. So after Prohibition flopped on its face, if these guys really, really, really had to justify their paychecks, these guys in the new agency, the new federal bureau that had been created to enforce Prohibition, which was, at that time, I think it was, I can't remember the name of it now, which is super funny because I thought the name of it 100 times before. But it was like the DEA. It was the DEA. It was a post. It's like the pre DEA. It's basically what the DEA was before it was the DEA. It was called the DEA. I forgot what it was called. But so Randolph Hearst showed up. He gave them a bunch of donations, and they started a propaganda campaign about how Mexican people fleeing violence in the Civil War smoke marijuana, and it turns men into serial rapists and serial killers and thieves. And how women's when they smoke it, it turns them into lecherous women that are going to try and steal their husbands. And they took those posters and they painted them over every single city in the United States of America. So, you know, there you go. that's that's how the marijuana enforcement got started in this country. So, yeah.
yeah. Um.
A little history lesson. Sorry if that's like preachy or anything like that, but like people need to understand that, man, a lot of things coming out of the 30s and like a lot of laws out of the 20s and 30s are just so based in race and
Well,
cultural
I
like
mean,
cultural
even up
separation.
through 80s,
The 70s
90s,
and 90s,
etc.
yeah, you're right. But hopefully, we're hopefully like seeing less of that over time. That's kind of the idea. At least I hope we are.
Yeah. So I did do some research just now.
Hmm.
So April 20th, 420, is the anniversary of the 1906 San Francisco earthquake, the
Oh, great.
1999 Columbine High School shooting, and
Nice.
Hitler's birthday.
Yeah, we're smoking all that pain away, bro.
Um,
We're just taking it all as like as psychically we're taking it in. We're smoking and then we're smoking it out inside our bodies and we're choking it and killing it to death with marijuana vapor.
yeah.
And then we exhale the bad thoughts. That's how it
Yeah,
works.
in the minds and hearts of a dedicated community of marijuana enthusiasts, 420 is a bona fide holiday. It all started with a group of 5 students at San Rafael High School in Marin County, California.
Hell yeah.
Uh, they name them. I don't really care to name them. They called themselves the Waldos because they often hung out by a wall outside the school. Like something out of the 1985 classic film The Goonies, the Waldos spent their free time hatching a plan to find a hidden cannabis crop based on a treasure map allegedly made by the grower. Unlike the Goonies, the Waldos never found their treasure, but they did start using a code word, 420 Louis, to indicate their plans to meet up at 4:20 p.m. near the school statue of French chemist Louis Pasteur before leaving the campus to search for the secret pot patch. After the search was called off, the code word became simply 420, and the Waldos would meet at the statue before heading off to engage in their mutual marijuana smoking hobby. The use of the term might have ended when the Waldos left San Rafael High School, but Reddix, who's one of the Waldos, got a job as a roadie for the Grateful Dead bassist Phil Lesh, and brought the Waldos catchphrase with him. Before long, 420 became a common phrase among Grateful Dead followers as code for smoking pot, and 4:20 p.m. was thought to be the agreed upon time for such activities. Eventually, the phrase caught on with marijuana using subcultures around the U.S., and its origin was largely forgotten. Over the years, the phrase was handed down to a new generation of marijuana users, and misinformation about its origin began to spread. But in the 1990s, one popular belief was that 420 was associated with either the police radio code or California penal code for marijuana possession, though that's entirely incorrect. Thanks, Mom. I knew you lied to me. Um,
How does it feel for the internet to tell you the truth and your mother to lie to you?
no, I mean, it happens.
That's
Like,
really
it's one of
fucked up.
those things where, like, you're a kid, like, and this is something I discovered, like, going through like middle school and high school is like you tend to think things are true just because at one point your parents told you.
Yeah.
And then like all like and when people are like what makes you think that, like that's what you think of, and you're like, holy shit, what if
Yeah.
my parents are fucking idiots?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I'm at.
That can that can
But
definitely be a thing.
yeah, speaking of bassists, I'm actually going to a concert this Saturday. But while I was gone in Vegas last week, news came out that the band who's headlining, their bassist died,
Oof.
like out of nowhere. And so like we didn't know like if it would get canceled or postponed or anything, but they came out like earlier this week and said, we're still going to go through with it. We're going to go through with the concert and our tour and everything, and just dedicate it to our bass player. And it's like it's relatively big news because they're all from Sacramento mostly, and yeah, like Sacramento B and KCRA3 and all the Sacramento news picked it up because it's a band from Sacramento. Like,
What band is
it? Dance Gavin Dance.
it?
What? Do you know Dance Gavin Dance?
I do know Dance Gavin Dance. I think it's hella funny that they started in Sacramento.
Yeah, they're based in Sacramento.
Yeah.
I think one of their drummers like went to a high school in the same school district I went to. Yeah, and I'm going because, well, mostly because I like Dance Gavin Dance a lot, but like a Skylit Drive is also from the Sacramento area. They're from like Stockton and Lodi, and their like original lineup is like getting back together. Like they only did one album together, and they're getting back together just for, I don't know, they're just getting back together, so it's cool. And so they'll be performing there. That's like their first show. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go. That's gonna be cool. So yeah, I was kind of nervous it might get canceled, but on top of that, I got sick. um, because I don't know why, but yeah, we went to Vegas last week, and we came home Saturday, and I got sick Sunday, towards the end of the day. It was so weird.
Did you take the test?
No, I don't. It's not COVID. Like my symptoms are like nothing like COVID at all.
Mm.
Um, my wife wanted me to, but like I'm vaxxed up and got the booster, so even if I have it, I'm not really concerned at all.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so what what I had was like, well, I still kind of have a little bit, but it's just like it felt like something was like stuck in my throat, and it wasn't like sore. It just felt like acid reflux in a way.
Mm.
And then like my nose just started running, like, and like without notice, like just white mucus would just like drip out of it, like thin as fuck, like just so random.
Mm.
And like then when I ended up going to work on Monday, I just had like so much pressure in my head, like I couldn't feel anything other than just like this massive pressure in my head.
You went into work feeling sick.
Well, yeah, because I don't know, like I hate missing work, and yeah, I
And you
didn't.
didn't even take a test?
No, why would I?
Did you tell anyone at work you were sick?
I mean, people can kind of tell that you're not feeling good, or whatever. I didn't have a cough or anything, and I still for like it's still just like an itch, like
Yeah.
it feels like there's like food that wants to leave my throat, um, whether it goes up or down. But yeah, and so I went into work and I just like felt like shit. I was gonna go to the gym because I was like, hey, I'll just sweat it out or whatever.
Yeah.
And so like during the day, like I never take medication, but I'm at work and I have a massive headache and I have like so much pressure in my face and my nose keeps leaking. I'm
Mm.
like, whatever, dude. Like we have like a mini store upstairs in our office, so like I bought like some like cold medicine and I also bought allergy medicine. And so like I tried the cold medicine and like didn't do anything. So like after like 4 hours, I took an allergy pill. Like that's like all day. Didn't do anything. So I was like, well, it's not cold. It's not allergies. Like I don't know what it is. So yeah, I just ended up going home at like 3 and didn't do shit. Like I didn't eat all day. I just like came home late in bed, couldn't fall asleep. Yeah, it was just miserable. So Tuesday, yeah, I stayed home. But
Okay.
I worked from home. But I did feel much better, and like I had taken like Sudafed like right before I went to bed, and I
Mm.
feel like that actually did help, and I don't know why. So
Oh, it's always good to take something healthy right before you go to sleep, and your body like really takes it,
yeah.
like really melts
Well,
it
I
down
still had
and
like a
takes
massive
everything.
headache, like so I was gonna take like Tylenol or something, but my wife was like, you can't because you haven't eaten, and like you don't know how it might react with those like the other medications you took, and I was like, well, whatever. I need to take
Mm.
something. I'm dying here.
Yeah.
So,
I usually just take some emergency, smoke a bunch of weed, and go to
I
sleep.
took I took like vitamin C pill because like
Mm.
I've been taking those mostly anyway. But yeah, like, and I also have a coworker who went to Vegas last week too. Like, she sits right next to me, and
Mm.
like she said, yeah, she got home and like she was fine, and then the next day she did the same thing. She just got sick out of nowhere, and it's like I don't know what it is because like my wife's like, oh, maybe it's like the changing climate or something, but like I don't think it's that. Like, if I had to guess, I'd say it's all the cigarette smoke there.
At
And
work?
like no, at casinos in Vegas, like
Mm.
you just can't escape it. Like everywhere you
Yeah.
go, it's just cigarette
Oh,
smoke.
that's right.
And
Yeah.
then when you're walking down the strip, it's all cigarette smoke and weed everywhere.
Yeah.
So like it's just like miserable for me because like I already know, like I don't have many allergies, and if I do, I don't really care about them because it's like, man up, whatever. Like, oh
Mm.
no, my throat might be itchy for a couple hours or something. Like, but like with cigarette smoke, I'm a little bitch about that, dude. Like I don't know, like it really bugs me.
Mm.
So but yeah, we went to Vegas, and I wish I had some exciting stories about it, but I don't
Yeah.
really.
You don't really, and I mean this with great respect, but you don't really seem like a Vegas person.
No, I went because my wife, she's been really needing a vacation and she likes Vegas, and so
Yeah.
we went.
And you can get some really good deals if you go during the off season too, especially like at the hotels. They'll give you some good room credits
Yeah,
sometimes.
there was no good deals. I'll have you
Oh.
know. We got there at like 11 at night, 11:30 at night on a Thursday. Um, we were going to get a lift to our hotel, but
Mm,
um, that sounds like prime time for people going out and partying apparently in Vegas. So lift prices were like triple.
mm,
Like it would have been like $75 or something, literally to
yeah.
go from the airport to our hotel, which is like an 8-minute drive. So we ended up walking back and just catching a cab, and it was like $28 or something.
Yeah.
And I tried to talk to the cab driver, and he was not very talkative.
And
Um,
they're usually not talkative these days. They just want
I
to
thought
focus
it
on
would
money.
be different. Like I thought, like cab drivers, because like that, like they usually work
Well,
for a company, and like so much of their job relies on like communication. Like I figured all cab drivers would be really talkative, whereas like Lyft and Uber drivers would be more like they'll let you lead, and if you want to talk, they'll talk, and if not, then they won't.
mm,
Like that's kind of like how I thought that's how it would go. But
mm,
no, this cab driver, he was very not untalkative, and like I wasn't being like too intrusive or anything. Like I wasn't asking like personal questions. I was just like, oh, like how do you like, do you live around here? How do you like living
mm.
around Vegas? Like, like do you have any recommendations? Like that's what like taxi drivers are for, right? Is to like tell you about like the local cuisine or like best places to try out. And he's like, no, I don't really come here. I don't really go hang out here. Like I like buffets. I was like, oh, what's a good buffet? He's like, I don't know. And then I was like, we pull up like close to our hotel and there's a McDonald's, and I was like, oh, is there anything like special about Vegas McDonald's? Like that's different from other McDonald's, He's like, oh, I don't eat McDonald's. I like In-N-Out. And I was like, okay, like, is there anything special about In-N-Out here? And he's like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, well, like it was just so uncomfortable, like, which is why you try to talk to him so it doesn't get uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm usually pretty good about sitting in silence, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'm kind of more of a, I don't know, brooding, antisocial hermit that doesn't talk to people. So,
Yeah, but yeah, we got there. We got there pretty late, and then we went to our hotel, like, and just checked in, which took forever. Even though there's only like two people in line in front of us, it just still took forever.
mm.
So
What hotel
then
did you stay at?
we stayed at the Hilton in Resort World, which is like pretty new. Like
Yeah.
they just built that, I guess, or
Was
something.
it on the strip?
No, it's like right off of this strip. Like,
I
um,
gotcha.
you can like see most like pretty much the strip, but it's like it's hard. I don't know. Do you know where like the popular like taco places that like everyone goes to?
No.
Like there's like this Mexican place. Like we almost went there on our first night, but like it was so packed at like midnight, like we couldn't even get in the door.
Oh yeah.
So we went like to like one like two doors down. Um, but yeah, so I don't know. Like it's like a 30-minute walk from our hotel to like Caesar's Palace, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Which isn't bad. And like I was totally okay with walking, but I was with people who obviously don't want to walk everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up like getting lifts everywhere we went for some reason.
Mm.
And so all the Lyft drivers were really talkative. Like they were cool, Like,
Yeah.
I'm giving them free content. I'm like giving them interviews and stuff. So it's like, like I don't know why they wouldn't want to talk, but yeah, they were all cool. We talked to them like, it's always good to hear people's like perspectives on life and different things and just like their experiences. Like, Lyft drivers have like, especially in Vegas, have some crazy fucking stories. You just know they do, right?
Yeah.
So we're like, yeah. But we were really only there like Thursday and Friday because we left Saturday at like 3 in the morning. Like our flight was at 6. And so yeah, you can probably guess we didn't sleep. But yeah, so like Thursday we kind of just like ate, and we had like a late start because we were up so late Thursday.
Mm.
And obviously like it was just me and two ladies, and ladies take a long time to get ready.
Yeah.
So I woke up at 8 on Thursday, and I was ready at 8:30,
Mm.
and my wife woke up at 11, and we left the hotel at 1:30. So
Mm.
you know what happens.
It's a good time to go down and check out like the hotel grounds and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we checked it out the night before because like my wife got there and just wanted to gamble right away,
Yeah.
so she did some of that. And then and then the next day, like we just went to a restaurant that was inside our hotel. That was like the Dog House or something.
Hmm.
It was actually pretty good. I got a Monte Cristo that was ballin'. The only thing I don't like is like everything is served with tater tots, which I like tater tots, but they like put truffle oil on it. And anybody who knows anything knows truffle oil is fucking disgusting and like fucking pungent as shit.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, truffles are good. Truffle oil is not good. So,
Well, it depends. Like if you're cooking with it, it can
uh,
be quite a good flavor. It can be a very delicate flavor profile if you're mixing it with the right things, like a good fish or a good salmon.
I'll never forget someone went on MasterChef and poured a bunch of white truffle oil in their dish, and Gordon Ramsay said, "This is the sure sign that you have no fucking idea what
No
you're
idea
doing
what
because
you're
it
doing.
ruins
Yeah,
anything."
yeah. You need a good little splash. You don't need to pour it on there because you can't overwhelm the flavors of whatever
Yeah,
you're trying to cook.
yeah, like it's like salt, like a little bit goes a long way. So yeah, and then like
Especially with how
we,
expensive that shit is. You can't dump a bunch of that in there, dude.
yeah,
It's like $200 for a bottle.
yeah. Well, so like because of where I work, like we get like free stuff sometimes. And
Mm.
like every time I was about to take it, I was like, I'm never gonna use this, so I
Mm.
just put it back.
Oh, dude, you get it and sell it later on eBay. There you
Yeah,
go.
maybe.
Totally
Um,
illegal. Don't do that at home, kids.
yeah. So Thursday we ended up like eating, and then like we went to the strip. Like we just walked all day. Like we went to the like Caesar's Forum shops or
That's
whatever.
Vegas.
We didn't
Yep.
go to any. We didn't go in any of the shops.
You just
Uh,
look. It's nice to look though. It's cool because of how freaking expensive it is. But
yeah, I mean, dude, how many Louis Vuitton shops do they need in Vegas? I saw like 12.
oh, dude, no, there's not enough. Trust me. For those Chinese billionaires to come over and have like with their
Jesus.
fortune with their 15 girlfriends, trust me,
Yeah.
it's a little crazy. Um,
Um.
but no, it's fun to. It's really fun to window shop in Vegas. It's like the only town I recommend doing it in because like they have these everything's like just displayed in this outrageous way.
Well, the thing is like because I didn't go into the shops, like
Mm,
even some of the shops had security guards outside, like that would let you in or not let you in.
yeah,
Like it's like
you,
kind of weird.
you look like a hobo.
Yeah. But like even even like I'm glad I didn't go into the shops because like I might have been tempted to buy something like I'm always like looking for like nice like form fitting like suit like clothing or whatever like professional
Yeah,
wear like, and I'm
Vegas
glad
is
I
the
didn't go in because the
polo
things
can be, dude, the Ralph Lauren polo shop. Oh my
mm,
god, dude, it's deadly. It sneaks up on you like, oh, look at these shoes. Oh,
the,
oh, they
the
smooth leather. Oh,
the
look at
the
these.
thing no one tells you about Vegas
Hmm.
is that you're paying a premium for everything.
Yeah,
Like I get it. Like if you're going to designer shops, you're going to pay a lot of money for designer things.
yeah.
Why am I paying $3 more for Starbucks?
It's
Why does
designer
no one
coffee.
this is the thing, like because my wife watches all like these YouTube influencers who go all these places and eat all this food and whatever and blah blah blah. Are all these
Yep.
people so disconnected from real life that they don't even realize that everything is so fucking expensive? Like they're just like, this is fantastic, you should come here and
Yeah.
try this. Motherfucker, it's $9 for Starbucks there.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of a problem with like I there are good parts of modern food culture and then there are some really bad parts of it. I think you and I like I'm back on Instagram. I'm not sure if you saw my post, right? I
I
just posted
did,
a
yeah, I saw your
bunch of pictures
doggo.
of my dog being a good girl. She's the best girl. But on Instagram, I follow a lot of foodies too because I just like to get stoned and look at pictures of really delicious food. But also sometimes I see some outrageously cooked things that I don't understand how any human being could eat, and B, like it's just a waste. It's like
Yeah.
there's a huge difference between like really well prepared food that's designed to be a certain way it is, and between food that's just outrageous and served in a cup or like on a shovel, and the shovel's painted on gold and it's on fire, and you gotta wait for the fire to go out after 2 minutes, and then you gotta like sniff some sort of like weird cocaine substitute, and then you gotta eat it so you have the right flavor profile on your tongue and shit like that. It's weird. Like there's this, it's just
Hmm.
you know. Vegas is just really expensive because it's more of a Vegas. The entire city is basically kind of a lifestyle choice, and that lifestyle is outrageously expensive. Like the entire city is found on money. The entire strip is nothing but casinos. That's what the hotels are built around the casinos. The clubs are built
The,
around the
the hotels
casinos.
are all casinos.
Well, no, they it used to just be a casino, and then, you
Like
know,
that. Well, I mean, like every
it's
hotel
on
is
the
a
main
casino,
floor.
right? Like,
It's on the main floor. Like it's obviously what their priority is. Like you can
well,
tell just by walking
and
in. Like
also
look at all the
like
staff they have.
I think Vegas has changed a lot. Like I think
Uh,
Vegas, because I've never been like before, but like all my experiences before with Vegas is because my grandparents went every year. Like
yeah.
and I never had gone, but like my grandparents went every year, and like when I came to California, like I'd gone to Reno a couple times, and like so I'm like, okay, this is just where old people come to spend their retirement money,
Hmm.
right? But I feel like Vegas is like more than that now. Like Vegas is where all like everybody wants to go to like just lose their minds.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like
It's like the modern day Sodom and Gomorrah.
yeah, and like I've also heard like I've talked to people who like are friends with like like business people who make millions of dollars a year, and
Yeah.
like you just like the utmost professional like people you'd ever meet,
And
and
they go to
like
Vegas and blow it
every
all.
year they go to Vegas like once a month just to do shit tons of cocaine.
Yeah.
Like it's just like okay,
I mean, I
you know.
wouldn't mind going to Vegas, like doing a monthly trip to Vegas, like smoke some weed, hang out, maybe go to a strip club, drink or something like
Yeah, but
that.
you can
But
do that here too
yeah, well, no, you can't because
without
strip
spending hundreds of dollars for
strip
plane
clubs
tickets and
aren't.
hotels.
The thing about strip clubs in Vegas though is that, like you said, everything there is also kind of a show, and I can really appreciate that, especially with some of the upper like crazier strip clubs, like they're just
Yeah,
fucking. They have the double decker poles with like three ladies on them at the same time. There's a bunch of flashing lights and there's a bunch of crazy shit going on, and they're doing like these crazy acrobatics. It's impressive to watch. It can be, and also you get to touch some titty, so that's nice too.
Ryujin said pinkies in the air, truffle oil fries, $10 coffee, instant bougie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, like
Rio's not wrong.
there's nothing extravagant about my trip to Vegas. Like I'm glad my wife had a good time. Like that was my whole goal, is to not be such a Debbie Downer. I ruin everyone's time.
Yeah.
Um, but like yeah, like when we were there Thursday, like we went to the strip, we walked around, we walked from Caesars to the Venetian to everywhere, got a lift back to our hotel, went to Circus, then like we walked to like 10 miles or something, 25K steps, like, and we took Lyft.
Here's another thought I had about Vegas too that I just realized. Vegas is where people in LA go to party. So, and I just want you to think about LA for a second.
I thought that LA and Vegas were closer, to be honest, but they're not that close.
Well, it's just a really long drive.
It's like 4.5 hours. I
It's
thought
a
it was
long
like
drive.
two.
It's a long drive. Some people like making that drive though.
For some
Like,
reason, I thought LA to Vegas was Sacramento to Reno.
no,
But
yeah, there's a lot of desert in the way. People don't understand that about like Nevada.
yeah, I drove cross country twice. Fucking Nevada, man. I hate it.
Yes. But sometimes you'll get those fucking zones like, no
Dude,
gas station for the next 126 miles. Have fun, fucko. Don't break,
when
better
you're
not break down.
when you're driving west, like, and you're coming to California, and you drive through boring ass states like Wyoming and Nebraska, you get to Utah, you're like, man, it's an hour and a half through Utah, and then you get to Nevada, you're like, I'm almost home, and then you have 10 hours of fucking desert.
Yeah. Desert, bro. Saying those guys back in the day, they had to cross that motherfucker with a bunch of fucking horse-drawn buggies and shit like that. Wearing no camel packs.
I'd rather have a horse-drawn buggy. At least I can
No,
sleep.
no, you can't. What? A horse will get lost. It'll stop and fucking.
Nah, someone else can handle the horse.
Was you by yourself? If you're driving cross country, were you driving by yourself or are you driving with
Like,
someone?
if it's olden days, I have no reason to leave California. Okay, there's gold here. There's the best produce in all the land. There's land fit for growing.
Earthquakes,
Earthquake, schmirthquake.
hostile native peoples striking out of the swamps that used to be the true California Delta.
They used to call the mail service the Pony Express, and the first ever post office went from Sacramento, California to Utah. So we're kind of ahead of the curve, California.
Yeah, us in Utah, baby, 24/7.
Yeah, we're the reason that the post office exists, but we're not the reason that it's so shit. You can blame the
Yeah.
U.S. government for that.
The reason it's shit is because it doesn't have any ponies anymore. See that you get rid of the Cowboys, things go to shit. You should have seen it
Exactly.
coming. Should have seen it coming. It was
But I
coming
mean,
for you the
you
whole
go
time.
by where you live, and there's a bunch of fucking cowboys. They just turned in their horses for diesel trucks.
Yeah, dude.
So.
I just want horses. I want like 50 horses. I want a herd of horses. I want
Dicentminus 10 fries.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either, and people think I'm smart.
Are you having a stroke? Are you okay?
No, that's what Ryujin said in the chat. I don't know what that means.
Oh.
You think I just came up with that out of nowhere?
Oh, maybe. You never know, dude. That you're having Vegas and you were thinking about how awful of a time you had, and then you just had a stroke.
I didn't have an awful time. Like, I actually like walking, so it's good, walking a lot.
Vegas can be really, like, you just need to know how to handle Vegas. Like, there's some people that get there and it overwhelms them,
dude.
And there's some people that get there and like they like abuse Vegas. Like, Vegas is like a bong. They're hitting that bitch way too fucking hard, right?
Yeah.
And there's some people where you just got to take a light hit of Vegas, like the show tunes, like the lights. Everybody's having a good time. That's one thing I like about Vegas. Like, you walk around, everybody's like happy. They're drunk. They're smoking. They're high. They're gambling. They're having a good time. Talking to prostitutes, calling prostitutes, thinking about calling a prostitute, texting prostitutes. It's a good time.
It's not always the case though. Like, one of the things that really like shook me.
The fist fights on the strip.
No, there wasn't fist fights. I mean, like because we were there Wednesday night, Thursday, and Friday. Like, we weren't there like party, and it was actually really crowded because like BTS was playing and stuff. Some of those.
Oh yeah.
But like something
mellow crowd though.
Like you expect to see like the showgirls and stuff like saying come get pictures, right, and then like charging you and whatever.
Yeah.
Something I did not expect that like really like made me kind of really irritated was people dressed as the Avengers grabbing children and trying to scam their parents. Like, literally, they're dressed as the Avengers, and you're, like, walking, and they just grab a kid, hey, come get a picture. Every kid wants a fucking picture with Iron Man, right? Like, and then, like, the mom is like, no, you can't have a picture because I can't pay for it. And, like, the kid starts crying and shit because these fucking dickheads are trying to scam people.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't do shit like that.
That's pretty shitty.
Like, I get it if you're a grown adult and they're like, hey, come get a picture. And, like, you're like, okay. And then they're like, oh, that's $10. And you're like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, and now I made a stupid mistake. But when you do shit like that to kids,
Yeah. It's like what happened in, I was at Universal Studios in LA, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, what was I talking about?
Universal LA.
Universal Studios LA. Sorry, I got a really weird email. It doesn't matter. It's in the past. It's in the past now. Don't do anything about it. Universal Studios LA, like, they have this Pottermore experience, right? And you can go to Ollivander's wand shop, right?
Yeah.
And they pick a kid, like, they have a beam of light come down from the fucking ceiling and like illuminate this kid. And the kid gets they give him like a special wand, like they give him like 4 wands before they give him like the final special wand, right? He needs it to do a bunch of magic and spells, and like they're talking about, oh my god, you're so fucking special, kid, you're the best. And at the end of the ride, they literally take his wand away and tell his parents, hey, you can buy this for $60 up at the fucking wand shop.
Jesus.
So yeah, it is really shitty, awful behavior. And they shouldn't be exploiting children to guilt trip their parents into spending money they don't fucking have.
Right. That's like what just like really annoyed me the most, and I was like what the fuck, man?
I'm surprised did any like hookers hit on you, like trying to get you to like get into a 3-way with you and your lady?
No, I'm very unattractive, so I didn't have to worry about that.
You're a precious baby boy. Shut the fuck up. Also, you didn't get any cards or anything like that? You didn't at least get one of the cards?
What
like
cards?
They handed out stripper cards with QR codes for a good time. You can scan them and it goes right to their fucking link tree.
Nope, didn't get none of that.
What
the thing is, like,
the hell?
My wife trained me well because when we were in Italy like 3 years ago, we were in Milan, and like I try to be nice. People are like try to like like if they try to hand you stuff or like try to like whatever, like I try to be polite and just say, oh, no thank you, like whatever, like because like that's just how I am, like, right? And my wife's like, you can't do that. Number one, you're tall, so you're a target, which all I got out of that was I'm tall because she always says I'm not 6 foot. She always makes
Yeah.
fun of me, even though I am 6 foot.
Yeah. Well, I'm 5'10", so you can go fuck yourself. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, because I mean I'm 6 foot. She always says you're 5'11 3/4. Like what the fuck? So
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
but yeah, she's like, you're tall, so you're like a target. Like if you put your hand up, they're gonna like put bracelets on you and then charge you for them.
Mm.
And it's like because like that's what like a lot of the street vendors do in like Rome and like in Italy and like France and stuff. Like they'll like say, oh, come try on this bracelet, and then they're like, well, you have it now. Now you have to pay us for it. We're not taking it back.
Mm.
Um, so like she told me to not interact with people trying to do stuff on the street.
Yeah,
So.
you just gotta fucking ignore them, dude. It's one thing I learned, like, when I was down in Mexico, street vendors, like, they'll just fucking harass the shit out of you if you engage with them in any way. You just gotta ignore them. Most important thing, just don't make eye contact and do the hand gesture, like, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just what it is what it is.
Yeah. But we actually on Friday we ended up going to this thing called Avengers Station. I don't know if you know what that is.
I have no idea what that is.
But it's like a new like shop. Not it's not a shop, but it's like a new exhibit. In Vegas.
Like
it's like in Treasure Island, yeah. And so let me see.
LA and Vegas, what I tell you, dude.
Yeah.
The roots are really deep.
Let's see what we can find. So, oh my god, why is it crooked? Okay.
I don't know what's going on here.
I'm trying to show you some pictures, but it came out crooked.
You gotta do them in the Microsoft PowerPoint. That's the best way.
Yeah. Window. Okay. Okay. I don't think that worked. Here. I have an idea. This will be easier. This will be way easier. Add display capture. Excuse me. There.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. That's Black Widow bike?
No, this is Steve Rogers' bike.
Oh.
Yeah, so I got a picture on Captain America's bike.
There you go.
What else? I took this picture. Oh my god, what happened? It died. Pictures, come back.
Yeah,
All right.
I believe.
This picture. I like it because it has the moon in it. I thought it was cool.
Like I said, man, Vegas can be really beautiful. It's just an experience.
It actually reminded me of like these lyrics I wrote years ago. That someone could easily apply to be about Vegas. Something like Jesus, I don't even remember. Something about her light being blinding on the night or something,
No, you're not wrong.
I was blinded by her light on the backdrop of the night. I'm pretty sure that was it.
There you go.
Look, all these Iron Man suits.
Sorry, there's no pictures. I don't see them. Oh. Nice.
Jesus. What is
this? Did they look like plastic behind them, or if you looked up to them, walked up to the cases, did they look pretty solid?
Yeah. They're like pretty legit. Excuse me. I have one more, but it has my wife's face in it, so I don't want to show it because she's weird about stuff like that.
I get it.
Yeah, which I mean is not weird. It's like understandable. But I can Okay, sorry. Here,
Hmm.
here it is. That's me with a short woman who may or may not be my wife, and some Iron Man suits.
Those are the OG ones. Yeah,
Yeah. So, but yeah,
it's
uh,
awesome.
yeah, it's a pretty cool exhibit.
Any cool knickknacks or anything like that?
Everything there was super over. Like literally, like there was a Spider-Man shirt I thought was really cool.
Probably $100, $110.
It was $40, which to
That's
me is
not the
too much for
worst.
a T-shirt.
Yeah, you're not
Um,
wrong, but it's not the worst pricing I've ever seen on like a branded shirt like that. I've been to some metal shows where shit's fucking outrageous at the merch
no,
booth.
but I mean, you can buy like shirts like that for like
Mm.
$25 anywhere else. They also had like really cool like gaming chairs, but you can find the like they didn't have prices on them, so I was scared to ask. But
Yeah.
I looked them up and like you can get one on Amazon for like $180, and I'm sure there would have been like 500. So
Yeah, you just gotta make sure they're like, same material and stuff, and not some cheap Chinese knockoff. Because let me tell you, as someone who got a cheap Chinese knockoff, it's already kind of fucking falling apart on me.
yeah,
Which sucks. I wish there was a middle ground, but it's either you're paying like 150 or you're paying $700, and it just kind of sucks. It
yeah.
really does. Gaming chair life. I need my pro gaming chair to feel like a pro gamer.
Well, the thing is, like, even pro gaming chairs, like, you'll get a lot of variants. Like, cause Secret Lair, I think, is like the big one, and like,
Mm.
you spend like $400 for a chair from Secret Lair, but most people, like, like people who game actually all day, don't even use those chairs. Like, they use like legit office corporate chairs, like from Herman Miller, that are like 2K. Like, no, thank you. I don't have
Yeah.
2K.
And I've also seen some really crazy gaming chairs, like with the lumbar and arch support and everything like that. Seen some cute ones too, like they have the cat ears and stuff like installed in the top, like they're supposed to follow a theme and stuff like that. That's pretty, it's good branding.
Yeah.
I really need one that's like a lot. Next time I get a gaming chair, I just need to get one that's a lot thicker. I need to get one that isn't from a randomly named company in the middle of inland China.
Dude, I just
um,
buy whatever's affordable. Like honestly, I've never spent over $100 on a chair because I hate spending money on things.
yeah,
Well, I mean, I like spending money on things, but I hate spending money on expensive things and like feeling like I'm wasting money. Like a chair is a chair.
yeah, but if
Like
you're using it to make money, it is a worthwhile investment,
yeah,
especially.
well, especially if you could use it as a tax write-off. I mean, come on now.
There you go. Chair takes off.
Yeah.
Not falling off that chair. Hey.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
We should probably talk about nerd stuff, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Okay. Well, there was a Thor trailer.
It was actually very good. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. Um.
Looks very cute. It looks a lot more slow paced. And like I said before, and I'm not really sure if this is me just talking to my ass or not. Like if this is like the closing end chapter of the that whole whatever first, second, third, fourth ellipses phase of the MCU. If that's like just the closing on everything. But
It
we'll have to
might
see.
be. The thing is, like,
Right.
Thor is the first character to have 4 solo movies.
Mm.
And you can probably guess it's gonna be Chris Hemsworth's last movie.
Yeah.
And the question is Jane Foster's Mighty Thor going to be Thor in future movies, or is this a one-off thing for her as well? Because I don't think we need like I can't see Natalie Portman committing to like a bunch of Marvel movies, to be honest.
Yeah.
And if they were gonna do that and knew that she wouldn't commit, then like there'd be no reason not to just cast someone else, like recast Jane Foster. To be fair, I like Natalie Portman. I didn't like Jane Foster in the first 2 Thor movies.
Especially
Go ahead.
the second one, no, but the Dark World was just kind of a mess.
Well, I really liked the first Thor movie, but like, it's like, okay, here's Jane Foster, this incredibly intelligent, capable scientist. Oh, by the way, she just saw Thor. Now she's a dopey moron.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like that. Where like you introduce like a character like with all these amazing traits, and then as soon as they see like this godlike man, which you understand because like in a way it's like if I saw that godlike man, holy shit, I'd be dumbfounded as well. But like for that to take away all your agency and like you just kind of become like a dithering idiot is like kind of an insult to Jane, in my opinion.
Not wrong. Um,
Um,
and I did enjoy the first Thor movie a lot. I thought Chris Hemsworth was like, I don't know, it was fantastic. It was fun watching him like galloping around with like almost kind of Renaissance-esque acting, like in the
yeah,
middle of like a Midwest middle. No, it's not even Midwest. It's like just desert town doing nothing. Um,
Rukia. What is Rukia? Do you know?
that is no. Wait, what?
Ryujin
Oh,
said Rukia.
I don't know. No, I don't
Does that mean you agree? Ditto.
maybe, possibly, potentially. I don't know. At some point.
Um,
But I am, she got shredded. Natalie Portman did. Apparently,
yeah.
she put on she got like really really buff for this role. So, we'll see how far she's willing to commit. I don't know. We'll just have to see. There's a lot of stuff up in the air right now with Marvel. There's a lot of contracts that are coming to an expire. There's a lot of stories that are coming to their conclusion. Like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like what's next?
Well, I mean,
Everything.
Guardians 3 is our last movie.
Yeah. Was it like they confirmed to be like their last? Their
Mm-hmm.
last. So.
Yeah, James Gunn has said like it's his last movie doing it, and it'll be the finale of Guardians. I mean, they're also doing the holiday special thing. So we'll see.
Hopefully, it'll be like the Star Wars special.
Yeah, but like when I first watched Thor, like it was just fun,
Yes, that's the thing. It was a lot of fun, and like the Destroyer was cool. I'm not sure if it was called Destroyer. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
robot thing from the
yeah,
vault. And Anthony Hopkins was badass as Odin.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. He's great.
yeah, and Tom
Hiddleston.
Hiddleston, Philliston. He was great as Loki. He had the role nailed within the first 10 minutes of just being like this snide little asshole that everybody loved to hate. Thor, we got a lot of character development out of him over time. I think that's because of the lessons they were in the Dark World, which you and I agree is probably the closest to the bottom of the tier out of all the Marvel movies, I would think, aside from Ant-Man and the Wasp 2. I'm sure.
Ant-Man and the Wasp was good.
Yeah, sometimes.
I think Captain Marvel was worse than Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I didn't, see. I kind of like Captain Marvel actually a little bit, but
I think it's extremely middle of the road for Marvel. Like it's not bad. I wouldn't say it's bad, but I also wouldn't say it's like anything special.
Yeah, she was just the last hero to get introduced before they finally brought everything together for Infinity War. Or she was the one introduced in the interim between Infinity War and Endgame, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone else we got a lot of time to grow and adapt and love, but her not so much. And you're right. I could see how Captain Marvel, the movie itself, would have some issues. Again, like most Marvel movies suffered from an extremely weak villain, or rather the lack thereof, a presence of a villain. I'm not really sure. I think they brought in Ronan the Accuser for like 10 seconds, and then he just warped out of there.
Yeah, I like Ronan though. Like
Yeah.
not necessarily like in Guardians, because like you
Captain
said,
Marvel.
like
Captain Marvel.
huh?
In Captain Marvel, he was in there for Captain
Oh
Marvel.
yeah. Well, he was Guardians' main villain.
Yeah, totally one shot him. Put it all funny.
But yeah, I thought I don't know. There's so much you can do with Ronan, and like he was wasted in all his roles, to be honest.
Mm.
So, but like I look at Captain Marvel. Like is like in comics, I don't like her character either.
Mm.
Like I liked Carol Danvers as Miss Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
When she became Captain Marvel, like I think it was like Spectacular Spider-Man #9 or something. I was done with that character, and then through Civil War 2, like her character just gets so bad. So yeah, I mean, I never thought I'd read a comic and say I agree with Iron Man, but when I was reading that shit, yeah.
I'm sure it was a horrendous comic reading experience. I don't know because I don't read comics. I can't really commentate on that, but
yeah. But maybe because I don't like the problem I have mostly is like why make Captain Marvel before Miss Marvel anyway.
Yeah.
And maybe you can argue, well, the suit for one thing, like they were never going to put her in that Miss Marvel suit. I don't know if you're familiar with her as Miss Marvel, but They're never gonna put her in that suit. So
Why is it huge? Has it got huge tatas?
no, it's just like it's like a unitard. Like
Oh yeah, classic style.
yeah, it's like
There's
like
a lot of outfits they're never gonna bring into actual fruition. Like, and like, man, like
yeah, but maybe
there's
instead
some
of like dealing with it, they're just like you know we'll just do Captain Marvel.
yeah,
Cause I mean we all know fucking Marvel fanboys, man. Like
yeah. Well, you're gonna get Marvel fanboy. They got Marvel fanboys upset no matter what. So there you go.
yeah.
Like they were upset. They're- and there are a lot of comic book outfits though that I don't think they'll ever make the jump to movie because they're just so risque. In real life, they would look like G-string. Uh, oh, Ruki. Oh, I think she has a short black hair, right, with spikes. Because I watched a little bit of Bleach, but then I didn't. I don't know. I didn't watch.
I've never watched Bleach.
Oh, it's got so many. Oh my god. Yeah, see that you can't have that in movies. This is a good Christian nation, okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
They're never gonna do this, right?
This is a good Christian show.
They're
What are
never
you
gonna do
doing putting this on
this.
here?
Like they're not gonna ask Brie Larson to get a bikini wax so she can do this. Like it just wouldn't happen. And these boots, holy shit. This Moonstone. I love me some Moonstone. This is not Carol Danvers. This is Moonstone.
Yeah, the high heels is another thing too. Because it's really
Like this is much more, up their street.
yeah.
So, or they could have gone classic. It wouldn't have happened.
Look at those abs. Love abs built right into the suit.
Look
Yeah,
at this.
they could have done that.
Classic.
Yeah, they could have done that too.
Miss Marvel 17, first appearance of Mystique.
With the midriff.
Rukia is a character that got some treatment in anime. The same treatment as Jane Foster. Instantly went from OP to complete rescue me mess. Dysentery minus dysentery 10 fries with regards to travel west.
Oh.
Yes, black hair. Black hair. Were we saying something about black hair?
The main character Rukia, from Bleach, the anime character, she has black, like short black pointy hair.
See,
and I understand, like, she showed up like for the first like 30 or 40 episodes, and she was like just kicking ass, taking names, like, oh, welcome to the big world, kid. And then she became a love interest, and things went downhill from there. And then they had like the beach episode, and yeah, and then I stopped watching Bleach.
Fair. You know what I've seen some of recently is Hunter x Hunter.
That's a good one.
Kind of pops off.
It is. It can get very intense very quickly. It can be difficult to follow sometimes, but it's definitely a good one to watch.
Yeah, I never really watched anime much, but yeah. But yeah, Thor. So I actually thought the trailer was pretty mediocre. Like I thought it left a lot to be desired, which is good because I think that means that they're not giving away the story necessarily.
Yeah.
And what really like got me excited is just seeing Natalie Portman as Jane Foster being Thor, like at the end. Like I thought that was fucking sick.
Yep.
But yeah, I think what gets people excited is they're like, oh, Zeus, Hercules will probably show up. Like all these characters that people have been waiting to see in comics for a long time. I mean, in live action for a long time. I think that's what gets people excited. I thought the Thunderbolts looked like styrofoam. But
yeah, I hope Marvel isn't trying to do this thing where it kind of reaches into the fantastical, like what DC does, like with the Round Table and other kind of stuff like that. Like Jonathan Strange, Jonathan Dark, I think his name is. I can't remember, but we'll just have to wait and see because Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness I'm going to see it with you on the 5th.
Yeah. Well, the closest thing you'll get, I mean, what's rumored, and it may have been confirmed. I don't think it has been. Is that the Illuminati are gonna be in it? And for people unfamiliar with the Illuminati, I mean, it's one of my favorite superhero teams. It's Captain America, Beast, Professor X, Namor, Black Bolt, Iron Man. Did I say Black Panther? Like
No.
Mr. Fantastic. Like this is a group called, and Doctor Strange as well. This is a group called the Illuminati, and pretty much like they form to kind of prevent like large scale destruction, like in the background. And so
Mm,
like one of the stories is like this like these universes are going to be colliding, like they call it like a convergence. And so what they do is they have to like get an infinity gauntlet with all the stones to like
mm.
blow up the other universe before it collides with ours. And like it's just like a lot of weird stuff that happens, but it's like a cool team. Like I just like the team, and I love Black Bolt pretty much. That's
Y-
why.
yeah, it sounds interesting and unique.
But yeah, like there's a scene in like the first trailer from Doctor Strange, or like the second trailer, where he's like handcuffed and like brought before like these chairs, and
Mm.
everyone thinks Professor X like rolls up, and everybody's like, it's the Illuminati for sure, you know. And it's like, well, we'll see, but like, which would be cool, but I don't think it's gonna be the Illuminati in its pure form. Like, I know that there was news that they're planning to do something with Namor. I don't know if we'll actually see Namor. I don't think we'll see him in Doctor Strange. Black Bolt got ruined in the Terrible Inhumans TV show. Mr. Fantastic, I don't think they'll bring him in this soon without
Mm.
like anything else. Like, and to be brought in straight up into like this universe, not established at all, and be like a member of one of the strongest teams to ever exist.
Mm.
I mean, it could happen because, you know, hey, it's the multiverse, right? Like he's established somewhere. But yeah, I mean, I Beast was a replacement for Professor X when Professor X got killed, so I don't think we have to worry about Beast. I mean, Doctor Strange obviously is being brought before them, like so. Who is the Illuminati? Professor X, and that's it.
Like
Like,
I said, I don't read any of the comics, so yeah, I'm sure this dream team you're putting together is gonna be badass, and hopefully we'll see it. Like,
well, it's
yeah,
irrelevant because like anybody who knows anything knows that like just because it is how it is in the comics, like Marvel will do their own thing to fit their stories, which is the way it should be done, you know.
yeah.
So but yeah, I'm excited for Doctor Strange. Like the biggest issue I have like continuously, and I understand it's marketing and they have to do it, but every movie, dude, and you, I get it with Marvel more than anything for some reason, but like every single movie there are like 34 trailers, 190 TV spots, 370 behind the scenes interviews, like 10 fucking billion tweets speculating. Like I don't need all this shit.
Hmm.
Like I watched the first trailer and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm ready for the movie to come out in 2 months. Like I'm good. And then just like every week, like a new 30-second clip, man, I don't need it.
Yeah. I think that's a problem with streaming, like also as a service, is that like they feel the need to generate content, which is strange to me because Netflix was kind of the one that sort of set the bar, and I don't believe they ever released any sort of behind the scenes information on Stranger Things or anything else that they released on only if, through their YouTube channel, but never through like Netflix itself, and they never inserted any trailers or anything like that, or they usually just had one trailer on the Netflix site you could watch, like and on like the show's page.
Yeah.
Just, it's Disney over commercialization. That's the only way to put it. Like, they want trailers because they want constant hype, because they want constant social media presence, because they want constant clicks, because they want constant ad revenue.
Well,
And they're gonna hyping the shit out of all their content for the time being until it pays for itself.
yeah. I mean, ad revenue is the big one, but like the other thing too is like, for people like me, like it's important to understand like I'm not the target audience for all that.
Mm,
Like I'm already seeing the movie regardless, right? Like
yeah.
like there are a lot of like, even though it's probably the most popular franchise to ever be created now, the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are still people who don't want to see these movies or who don't watch them, and it's like, hey, you should target some
I
of
know
these.
someone that refuses to watch any new Spider-Man movies because he's like, "Oh, we've done that. Like, they've already done it like 4 times. How many more fucking times can they do it?"
It's
And I don't,
true.
I don't blame him. Yeah, that's the
It's the
thing.
same
Like,
with
yeah,
Batman though,
yeah,
and
yeah.
like the thing is like, I mean,
I'm not saying I agree with his opinion, but I am saying
yeah,
I
no,
understand why some people would hold that opinion. You
yeah,
know?
no, I do get it. Like and for sure, like imagine like being being a full grown adult right now, and like you've never watched an MCU movie, and like they keep coming on, and you're like, well, like it's just like comics. Like, like where do I even start? How do I get into this? Like
Exactly.
do I have to watch every single movie? And it's like, well, technically no, but you're missing. Like, Marvel is at its best when you can get just as much out of it by not watching any of the other movies,
Hmm.
right? But like people who do have all the other knowledge will get a little bit extra. Like that's when it's at its best. That's why like movies like Shang-Chi, Black Panther, like they really stand alone
Yeah, especially
because
Shang-Chi. Oh, and
yeah,
Black Panther too.
because like you don't have to know any of the other Marvel stuff to watch those movies and be like, holy shit, dude, these are good
Hmm.
movies, right? Like they do really stand on their own. And but if you have seen other movies, I mean, hey, we know who Wong is, you know,
Hmm.
but we don't have to know who Wong is, right?
Yeah.
Like we know, we know some of the references maybe from well, we know like Black Panther's dad died in Civil War, but you don't need to know that,
Yeah.
right? Like that's why I view like Black Panther was the first Marvel movie I saw that I said this transcends like the genre because you don't like you just like Shang-Chi, like they utilize the world of the MCU that they live in, but they don't
Abuse it.
restrict themselves to that world.
Yeah.
Like the you know it takes place in the MCU, but it doesn't have to, which is what makes them so great, right? And even like a lot of the other like solo films that like when they first came out, you look at Iron Man, the first Captain America, the first Thor, um, the first Doctor Strange, like these are movies that barely reference anything else. But like in today's world, like something like the past like 3 4 years, like and I guess I mean Marvel really started it with Infinity War. Like everything has cameos now, and like those are the big reveals. It's cameos everywhere, right? And it's like, well, if you don't recognize those cameos, you're kind of lost,
Hmm.
which can become a problem. I think. Like
But
what they've done. Go ahead. Sorry.
and then just also like just to kind of summarize what you're saying, you're talking about like a broader issue with a lot of things. Is at the end of the day, our memory now as a society, especially when it comes to creative speculative fiction, is just very long. And everything is inspired by something else at this point. You'll ask any fantasy writer who you're inspired by, and they'll say Tolkien. Or a lot of people now are also starting to say the Wheel of Time. But at the end of the day, the Wheel of Time was heavily the Wheel of Time was heavily inspired by Lord of the Rings. I believe the gentleman who wrote the book said he just wanted to have a more human take on Lord of the Rings, whatever that means. But that's what
Isn't Lord of the Rings the most human take you can have?
you
Like
know.
The Lord of the Rings is Tolkien's human take on the Silmarillion.
Yeah, and even then, like it really turned. There's a lot of people who just straight up can't read it because it's a little bit too much for them.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean that's what I said last time when we spoke about J.K. Rowling is like
mm,
she claims she's never read Lord of the Rings, but there's obvious influence there because even if she hasn't, she's read other fantasy fiction, and all modern fantasy fiction is inspired by Tolkien.
by Lord of the Rings. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
So
Especially back then when she was writing in the 80s and 90s. That's all they really had aside from pulp fiction like Conan and Arthur C. Clarke and stuff like that.
yeah.
But the problem is also like getting back onto the original point is it's very difficult to orient yourself pretty much in any fan based culture these days because of the amount of information you need to take within yourself to actually be considered an authentic fan. Like if you're trying to be a metalhead and you want to say I am a metalhead, I'm a fan of metal music, like you need to start in the 80s and then you need to work your way forward up until today. And it's like a huge catalog of hundreds of different of bands and hundreds of different of unique noises and hundreds of thousands of difference of like this and that and everything that makes it distinct and unique. And until you realize none of that shit really matters and nobody actually cares. Anyone who walks up to you and says, "Hey, if you don't know X, Y, and Z, then you're not a real fan of X," like that
Yeah.
person's probably full of shit.
Gatekeeper Andes.
But it is but it is very still very difficult to orient yourself, like you were saying, orient yourself in the story of the fan, like of something that's built on fan culture. That's what Marvel has done. Marvel has built a giant fan base, like of hundreds of millions of people that will go see their movie at the drop of a hat, like no
Well,
matter what.
and
Like
also
what?
it's like we see the success of franchises are like the biggest things, right? Like there are very few like solo movies that perform the way that franchise movies perform,
You know,
and it's like Kevin Feige and Disney looked at that and like just turned it up to 1 million. Like they're
yeah,
like, we're not gonna do a Iron Man franchise. We're gonna do a Marvel franchise, and we're gonna have Iron Man, Captain America, Thor franchises, Spider Man, all of that within our larger franchise. Like they just franchised franchises.
hmm
It's like, in the 70s and 80s and on, like you have Star Wars, you have Jurassic Park, you have Indiana Jones, you have like these incredibly popular franchises, and
yeah,
then you move into modern day and it's like everything, Batman, DC, the DCEU, MCU, Star Wars again, Marvel Television, like everything is franchised, like
yeah,
and it just grows and grows and grows, and it's like, you know
and heavily recycled. That's another thing that always needs to be put out there. And my problem today with most modern media and culture is that it's just all heavily recycled, like you said, from the '60s, '70s, and '80s. Like they
yeah,
had a whole Marvel movie. Didn't they have like a whole Marvel movie series like in theaters in the '60s, '70s, and '80s?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It was
yeah,
just really bad, and
yeah.
so they tried it again, and that was really good.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
it,
and as technology improves, like, people will be drawn to that more,
yeah,
because a lot of people are really, like, in modern days, are really turned off by old school, practical, terrible effects in their mind, right? Like,
no, until they
um,
watch Star Wars, and then they're like, "Oh my god, practical effects are the best."
yeah, my wife didn't like them, though.
Well, I hate to
uh,
say this, but your wife's wrong.
yeah, no, I
No,
agree.
I'm
I
just
mean,
kidding.
yeah, it's just one of those things, and it's like, that's why it's hard because, like, philosophically, which I don't like to like be super stringent about things, but like to my core, the way I think about like approaching fiction and like stories is like, if a story needs to rely on information outside of that story, it's
Mm,
not a good story. And I feel like Marvel has become that in some ways,
mm,
but also not, because it's more of like a serial television series than
yeah,
like previous, like and that's what's, you look at the transition from television in the 60s, 70s, 80s to like modern day, right? Things went from very episodic, like everything was episode to episode, and like there was very little continuity between episodes, to
yeah,
very serial, like, everything affects the next episode, right? But your
yeah.
main story within those episodes should still kind of stand on
Now,
its own.
that's also this also is another thing. Like this is and I primarily TV. I believe it shifted primarily because of the rise of DVR and series, especially things like on demand. And there
TiVo.
was also
I think with TiVo was
TiVo. Yeah, and
because you saw the shift, like with shows like Buffy.
yeah.
Like there would
I
be
mean,
like, the first season of Buffy is like random, 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 and then serial.
yeah.
you know,
And also
like
Buffy, it survived also a lot on straight home to DVD sales. Like, I'm sure I wonder how much money the Buffy's really made from the, seasons 1 through 10. Each one's like what, $80 a pop. CDs.
there's only 7 seasons, sir.
Okay, well there you go. Seven CDs. Okay, I know. I used to burn CDs in our little college, like
Mm,
media class. Okay, it's not really that hard to burn a CD.
no, I
It's
mean, I
not
used to
that
do it at,
expensive.
like, I had very little experience on a computer as a kid, and I
Yeah.
would burn CDs to like listen to in the
Yeah.
car.
So basically, all you're paying for is like the fact that the CD has like the content that it says it has on the cover on it. You're paying for like maybe some behind the scenes stuff and maybe like a little cute like poster or something like that. And those things are like what? Like let's look it up right now. How much is it for the entire season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
It's not much anymore, I don't think.
Oh,
I actually, I remember when like, uh like iTunes started like selling stuff, like,
mm.
and then they got like really popular. I bought the entire series of Battlestar Galactica for like $25. I was so happy.
The old one or the new one?
The new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the new one. You want to talk really old school? My dad used
Season
to
1 through 7, complete series, $151.
scam.
But still, they only got 2 left in stock, so that means people are buying them. All right,
My dad
and
used to like record TV shows or movies that were
mm,
on TV with a VHS tape a blank VHS tape. You could put it in your VCR, and your VCR is hooked up to your TV.
Oh,
You hit
gee.
record on the VCR,
Hell yeah.
and you record the movie onto a VHS tape. My dad used to
Remember
do that, and then you could skip through the commercials. But because it wasn't smart back then. Like you literally have to like with all like little white lines going through your screen and shit. That was classic.
I remember the only time I had a blank VHS, I used it to basically burn a Pokemon movie that I really wanted to watch over and over again. And so, like, I had the blank VHS, and we had the VHS machine, and ours was cool. Plug it in, you hit the record button, and start recording if it was compatible. And I started recording. You're right. Fast forwarding through the commercials is definitely the way of the future, and I hope we get to hold on to that forever.
Yeah. Well, and then DVDs then just ruin that because you're like, man, I can just skip whole scenes. I got scene selection and whatnot, right?
But I see the thing is, like, I know you said scam, but I myself am a fan of DVD collections. Like, I have all Lord of the Rings on DVD. I have
I do too. But...
I have the Skywalker. I have the whole Skywalker saga on DVD, Blu-ray. I should do that one time.
I got the steelbooks too.
Nice. And I don't blame someone for wanting to own them, especially like you never know which of these streaming services are going to eventually burn out. So it's always good to have security for physical media.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Oh man, here we go.
This is all Star Wars.
Yes.
Yep.
DVDs are great.
You got complete saga 1 through 6.
Okay.
You got my collector's Force Awakens, never opened.
There you go. That could be worth some money someday.
Got the Target exclusive Force Awakens.
There you go.
Got the Best Buy unopened Steelbook Force Awakens. You got the Target exclusive never opened Last Jedi. Best Buy Steelbook never opened Last Jedi. Best Buy Steelbook never opened Rise of Skywalker.
I'm surprised you got all that stuff considering everything that happened with those movies.
Well, it's collector items for me.
Oh, there you go.
Rogue One never opened Target exclusive.
I really agree with Rogue One. Rogue One was the best.
Rogue One Steelbook, Best Buy.
There you go.
And I did open Solo.
Yeah.
Because I wanted the code.
Oh, it's code for what?
For the digital copy.
Oh, well, there you go.
But now you can just download it on Disney Plus. So wasted that opening.
Yeah.
But yeah. And my wife said, "Well, you bring all those DVDs here, you'll never need them." Psh, look at that.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell them for a couple $100K. You never know. That's right, babe. You fucking wait. One day I'm gonna be a millionaire. You're gonna be thanking me, and we're gonna be retired on this stuff.
Yeah, my collectibles.
Yeah. All right. Well, I wanted to get back to the festivities today.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, we can end it there. I mean, we talked about the Thor trailer, and
that's nerdy enough.
Yeah. We'll talk about Moon Knight next week after we watch today's, because apparently today's is huge. Everyone's super excited about it. So,
good.
Yeah. So we'll talk about it next week. But yeah, thanks everyone.
We should do a little deeper Batman dive too. Maybe we should do another one of those one of these days.
Yeah, we'll do something like that.
And it's out on HBO. Anyway.
Yep.
Take me off the internet.
Yeah.
Get me out of here.
Thanks everyone. Thanks Ryujin for chatting with us. Goodbye. Peace out. Blah blah blah.